Howdy, Cindy. I'm doing okay. I came on early. Is somebody else live right now? Like Wages go live or Marv go live or somebody? It's all right. We're here early. Let me catch a few early birds. It's been a long weekend too, as you can see. All right, let's get this show on the road here. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. All right, before we get into this here, it's going to be a little disturbing right off the get go here. We should basically do a spiritual report before we even start the show. But, well, let me get this loaded up here and pull back out of here and do the greeting. Whoopsie. Get that loaded up here. And while that's going, I'm going to take a moment to thank you guys for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family, even in replay. I understand it's late night and a lot of people are tired, so might not get the biggest show right now, and that's okay. Because what I have to show you is pretty disturbing, and most people don't need to see this anyway. So, anyways, as you can see, your activity going on today and everything's all like over here, these big blasts and stuff. But what I'm looking at is this activity up here, something really, really faint going on back in there. Okay, so we're gonna kind of focus on that event. You can take a little peek at all this stuff on the side as we go through it frame by frame, but I want to show you guys the face captured next to the sun. Okay. All right, here we go. So let me catch this opening frame. I try to make sure nobody else is going live. I don't want to interrupt somebody's show. But here we go. Opening frame 037 of September 2nd, 2024. All right. So here we go. And what's going on here is I have this. Let's adjust a little bit more. I need to get the whole screen, and there we go. And brighten it up just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so opening frame. Here we go. There's a few more people there. Hi. Okay, so as you can see, little spits and sputters. You see our spire regions and stuff, okay? We're going to focus on this spire region right here and the event that goes on right here. As you can see, we have one of these telltale little wakes. This little, not spire, but it's like a wake going around it and trailing back. So we're going to go ahead and click through these a little bit. And you can see other stuff flailing out the side, spitting and sputter going in all directions here. You see it kind of growing. You can see something round trying to come out of there. A glitch screen. It was so strong. This did some kind of halo effect too. Some blast came out, and you see the instrument boom, and then a halo, and then I think it's coming up right around here. There it is. Okay, this frame here, 936, it's frame number 26 in case you want to come over and reference this frame right here. What I'm going to do is start zooming in on this. Now, everybody take a deep breath, sit down. Okay, I don't want anybody passing out and hitting their head on a table or anything like that, all right? Yeah, we're going to leave it like right there, dim it down a little bit now. Okay, this is actually kind of 25 degrees to the tilted to the right. So tilt your head to the right about 25 degrees. You can make out our round structure right here. Okay, with stuff flailing off the top, but also there's a face in there with a bunch of other stuff along with it. So can you see the face already? First you have to kind of capture it before we zoom in on it too much. And then I'm going to darken this a little bit. Now tilt your head to the right. It's a Yoda face. There's an eye here, an eye over here. Here's the round head and mustache with the little mouth, stubby little chin. So this round face right here, eye, stubby nose, stubby chin. This eye is inverted. This is black with a white pupil. This is a normal eye. There's also a third eye right in between them too. Then you can make out a crucifix right here with Jesus hanging on it over that eye. It's much like this one right here that I use. You see it kind of floating in front of that face or like intersecting through it. I love you too, D-Rez. Okay, I'm going to let that sit there for a second because there's a lot going on in there, all right? And you can come over to this instrument and look. And that, like I showed you, that was frame 9 at 936. Right there where this image starts to come out. A couple frames before, there were some other little aberration type faces, but not as clear as this one. And then, like I said, you can see a three-dimensional crucifix going through there with Jesus' body hanging off. Now that you can see that, I can go in two more dimensions tighter. And now, let's see, can't go in too close. But you can see the eye, you can see the crucifix. Let me back out. Maybe that's probably pretty good right there. All right, so yeah, this little event, this round structure hiding in the background. We were looking at all the other little, bright spits and sputters, and here sneaking out through the background is this event, and you can see our plasma streaking around a round object right here. It's our typical activity, but this one has a face and a crucifix and an inverted eye. He's raising an eyebrow on this side. This one's more of a soft look, almost like Yoda's eye or whatever. It's just, it's very intricate, this whole face right here. And then as you zoom back, like you can see this further in you zoom, you see more stuff. But then as you zoom back, you see stuff in different dimensions a little further back. So this is like a multiple dimensional face. Okay, God works in multiple dimensions with multiple meanings. And there's that showing up, kind of hiding in the background. But this wake, this plasma streak gave it away. Meanwhile, everybody's looking at this stuff over here. I was looking through this, looking for, our objects. You can see one here, you can see another one there. All right, but this is what was sneaking through the background there, all right? And you can come over to this instrument, pull up this frame, and look at it for yourself. I didn't make this stuff up. This is what's being captured on their cameras, all right? I'm not even sure if they're aware that this is going on. Don't you think they'd block it out if they knew that this was showing up on their instruments? Oh, maybe not anymore, but quite the opening to the show, wouldn't you say? Like I said, I almost need to do a spiritual report before before the show. Okay, so there we go. There's your face by the sun. Okay, we've seen the face by the moon. You'll see signs in the sun, the moon, the stars. Well, we've seen a face in the clouds. We've seen faces by the moon. Now there's a face by the sun. There's only one that could do this. Oh, boy. Just a lot to already take on at the beginning of the show. Okay, so let's go ahead. We got to continue on with the report. So we got to continue on. All right. So you guys come over to this instrument, evaluate it yourself, look at it, brighten stuff up, dim it down. When you flex the screen like this, you can see different dimension or different shading. But when I do it here, it messes up the wavy lines. And I'm trying to do the best I can. So here we are, 9:36, August 2nd, 2024. And there's the face by the sun. That's right, Herbie. Oh, okay. Hang on, Mama. You ready? Okay. Sorry, folks. We'll be right there. So there's your frame with the face in it right there. Okay. Now, and you can't see it over here. You're looking at all this activity going on over here. This almost looks like some big black shaft or some big old staff. It's like an object with a big long shadow draping down it. And then we'll scooch down here. And you can go through all the other frames and stuff too, because there were some other little faces previous to that one that you can go investigate on your own. But that was the main one that we had to capture there. Also note these crisscrossing magnetic field lines right there, making an X with this little circle in the middle of it there. Oops, let's go. Boom, boom. And then it moves on out. See this little shadow trailing along here. This little vent coming off down the side over there. All these little satellites, but nothing compares to this event right here. Now, if you tilt your head 25 degrees this way, like this, at this angle, you'll see this is the bottom, this is the top, and we got a cross type structure going on there, don't we? See that cross type structure, but it's at an angle. A lot of the spiritual realm is at a 25-degree angle, 45-degree angle. It's sitting right in your face and you can't see it because you're used to looking at everything horizontally and vertically, where this is just offset a little bit and you can't see it. You see that? Especially on the red side over there. Here, let me bring that back here. Looks like a big old stick with a ball, like it's about to swing away and rope a homer or something. So there's 936 with this going on right there. And then, like I said, up here in this little region, let's do it one more time. We go back like that a little bit. There we go. So you can see the crucifix going through the eye right there, and you see that one eye's black with the white pupil inverted. I've seen that a lot in the spiritual realm in the clouds. One eye black with a white and one eye normal. But you can make out it's like a Yoda type mouth, this little mustache, little tiny little mouth, and this stubby little chin. The flaming hair, the face by the sun. Pretty, well, I was telling you, a lot of these events are spiritual in nature too, so you can see what I mean. Okay, let's move on, shall we? On a lighter note, how about the weather, Tad? All right, let's do the space weather, shall we? Solar flux into C is 238. We're up 12 points. Okay, so now the sun's coming back alive. We're starting to climb back up a little bit. Same with the sunspot number count, 200. We're up 44 spots. Okay, area is 1500 and in the yellow. So you can see a little uptick in activity here ever since this, our little event last night, huh? Now let's go ahead and pull this on in. You guys are patient. Thank you. Okay, this region's still gapped, leaving the vicinity. This big old jumbled mess right here, 3806, is like very complex but not very strong. Okay, it's just all diffused and spread out all over the place. 3811, I believe, is where we saw it was behind the limb that we saw that long duration one. Something to think about here. That long duration M5.5 that we witnessed yesterday was probably an X flare pointing the other direction. But think about this. It was pointing the other direction and still managed to kick out M5.5 and not even pointed in our direction. That's quite an event. And then we saw that it was more than 6 hours. It was more like 9 hours long. So it was quite an event. Anyways, this 3813 getting all complex and stuff here too. And then we see the spires coming out of these regions according to them too. All right, so I need to move on because there's breaking news just in. Hang on, we'll get there. First, we got to go into here. You can see how fluxed we are, your solar X-ray flux, that is. Quite a day, bumpy ride, little dropout from the eclipsing of the satellite, but boom, 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 little M flare right there, a couple little spikes right there through the M barrier there. So quite a few little M flares there. Lately, we've had this little dropout and then no activity. I would take you over there to see that, but we got this going on right now. The D-layer absorption, and you know I am a stickler for absorption. Okay. Let me give you a little lowdown here real quick and we'll get over to it. 3-day geomagnetic forecast, all clear for the next 3 days. Let's pray that it stays that way. I would love it if it was all clear for the next 3 days. Meanwhile, X-flare potential has jumped to 25%. I repeat, 25%. M-flare, 70. A little red starting to show up on this screen here. Your main flares were a 2.9 and a 5.5. That was the one yesterday. So I guess this is your 2.9 right there. And it came out of 3807. Okay, so we'll watch that one here. Your all your sunspots, beta gamma, 3 of them. This one growing, the 3807 still growing. This other one, 3806, is declining already. And then 3813, that's the newer one coming around the limb right there. So we'll watch that one. Hopefully it doesn't go delta. All right. Meanwhile, unsettled but still declining as far as our geomagnetic or KP index, okay, which is good. We don't need to be taking on any more energy because we're already taking on some up at the D layer. All right. So, old article. Let's come on over to the D layer. I want to see if we can capture this before it gets kicked off the map. Oh, you see that little blast right here? Okay, you see how it's orange or red here, orangish reddish to the top. Let me go ahead and load this on up, and then we'll take a little walk through the D layer region, shall we? Actually, you know what? I might just let it run its own little play tab there. Okay, and you see up here, energy getting directed to the poles, isn't it? Now this layer out by the ionosphere is heating up the ionosphere. Okay, that also heats up the air in between us and it, so causing heating. And then some of this energy goes down to the core as well, and we'll see hiccups from absorption. Pressure will come. There's a good little hit right there at the end, and you see that's our current conditions right up to the end there. Okay, so since the beginning of this, we've been collecting some energy there. Okay, that's that's okay. So that's where we're currently at right there. So we've had a little proton event. Here you can see proton storm, 25% chance. Well, it's already going. So, all right. Meantime, this. Guys want to take a little peek at this? No, I don't blame you. Not after seeing that. But we're gonna try anyway. Here, let's refresh for every last little frame we can get. And it's one of two frames. That one or that one, or that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. So not much to look at. You can see our little V-shaped bow shock or a little wave coming off of here, or something, little object out in here, little trailing moon or whatever. So, whew, no other faces to report on right now. Okay, good, good, good. That's old. I do want to just take a peek at the tracker in case there's anything new they're tracking. Okay, good, good, good. It's going south here. In a way, that's good. That's the old one. All right, so we're all good there. Let's come on over to, spaceweather.com. Just clicked off of it. It might be the same article from yesterday. Yeah, it is. And that's okay. Let's move on to the Schumann. Yeah, there we go. So we had this little baby roller coaster ride yesterday, a little bit of smoothness, some continuity today, and then bam, a lot of pressure came in. We did some grinding, finally tapered off, some earthquakes, some volcano action. Finally, the pressure relieved, and right now we're back to good continuity. So everybody take a deep breath and blow out the green line. There you go. Okay, and that's good. We need good continuity like this because in the background, you guys got enough going on with the media, the wars, the lies, and then you got this bombarding you, as well as the spiritual realm bombarding you too. That's why we do a lot of salvage work, don't we? Okay, so there's your Schumann right now. We did have a little event, a little pressure came in. Well, remember, we had some geomagnetic energy come in that was unforecasted. Well, it made it to the core. The core starts grinding away, pressure builds up, and then it finally eventually tapers off. Okay. Now let's get on over to here, to the null school, and check out this storm right there. Oh boy. Then you can see also a couple growing out here. This one that just walloped the Philippines. Heading kind of towards, well, maybe up towards Taiwan, up to China, really. It looks like it might hit them. What I want to do is a sandstorm report for you. So let's do particles and the dew. All right. Kind of leave the winds on for a second here. Okay. You see your density. The thicker, the wider is the denser part of the plume. Now it's looking more like a forearm with a fist coming out, going to extend out. Okay, we did have some breaking in the plumage here and there, so we might see a few storms develop. Also, a lot of sand got pulled away up into this conveyor belt, which is going to leave this area open and naked for hurricane production here soon. So everybody watch out. We're probably going to have a little round of hurricanes until this sand can make it across here. Also, what I don't like is this reverse going this way. Sorry, going this way, pushing some of that sand back. I'd rather see I want to see all the wind going across, pulling as much off and diffusing the convection as much as possible. Okay. But here we go again. We got a good strong plume, and it looks to be projecting straight across. Hopefully it doesn't get pulled down right here at the last moment. Look at this. All right, we'll see. You can see stuff's trying to grow in those spots and in between there. Is he punching this little guy in the head? Look, two eyes, his nose, and then this fist coming out. Kind of, I don't know. Anyways, let's get on over to this side. No way. Yeah. Let me take off the wind here. All right, very intense plume right down here. Okay, very strong activity. And then you can see up here is getting pretty strong. Over here at the Gobi Desert, really strong. You can see the eye socket right there, the other eye socket right there, the nose coming down here, the horns sticking up. All right, pretty intense sandstorm over there at that Gobi Desert region too. Wow. Wow. The Lord is amazing. All right, so there's your sandstorm report. Let's do an SO2 report, shall we? Okay, everybody breathe now. Whew. All right, here we are. Our nation divided thanks to the media and the schools and all the reverse engineering education. But to the right, all the soft ground bleeding out SO2. On the left, well, you got perforations in the crust, volcanic sites. There's your country divided. Don't fall for the trap and you won't be divided. Okay, so let's get on into the fires too, because we have SO2 emissions coming out of the ground so hot. Well, they're sparking fires. Any kind of vegetation around an emission site, especially up here in these dense forests, well, you're going to have fires. Okay, so there's a bunch of fire activity happening from our SO2, and that had been going on for a while up in Canada. All right, that was going on last year too. You see all these little sites running along there too. But what I want to talk about tonight is right in this region here, folks. Idaho, yeah, it's not even Eastern Oregon anymore. It looks like more Idaho region. I saw a brief thing of BP Earthwatch capturing a bunch of fires blossoming at the same time, almost as if like a big old belch of pressure came up from down below. sparked a bunch of fires because SO2 emissions just peaked. Meanwhile, look at this site over here going to town. Then there's Salt Lake City, so you get a reference of where this is. Okay. And then down here in Southern California, even up here in Oregon, this one now. See, we had all this pressure come along here, along this plate boundary, and we have SO2 emissions offshore right there. Also coming out now under the plate, SO2 emissions through this region, and now we have a fire at one of them right here. This would probably be up in Oregon. Yeah, because there's our. Nope. Well, there's the Crescent City, our Juan de Fuca fulcrum spot right there. So just inside Oregon, right there, just inside the Juan de Fuca, is an SO2 plume with a fire. Now, whoops. Sorry, my hands are numb. It feels like a dead chunk of meat at the end of a pole. All right, so fire here at this SO2 emission site. Also going on down in this region, a couple of them. This intense plume doesn't have a yellow, but it does have a red dot fire right there and one up at this side too. Actually, there's another third one in the middle. It's very faint, but so that little plume starting to have fires around it. We've had an increase in pressure and a new little spot open up here too. Look how it gets pulled up in these storms. Okay, I was worried about this getting east of the divider line there, and if we come over to here, starting to look at these ones right here. Yeah, you guys, I'd be careful right around this region. Watch these fires carefully. And if you see anything kind of creeping up through there, that might be a telltale sign. Let's just, I hope this may be just like factory activity or maybe something else. But as you can tell, these ones aren't, okay? It's obvious with those ones. Is this going down into Mexico now? Actually, we can't trust those fires. So let me take the fires off now. We'll get rid of that and finish off our SO2. All right, here's Cuba, still kind of dark. Jamaica, really dark. All right. Northern South America, all along the coastline, getting into the middle, into the Amazon here. We come by here, stop off at the fulcrum point on our plate boundary system. Here's the fulcrum point with a good weak spot, spewing healthy dose of SO2. No fire, but SO2 been coming out of this spot for ever since the very beginning. So that's why I always check this spot. Meanwhile, this spot up here getting intense, this one darkening in. All 5 of them are there tonight. So coming down the coast, you can see how dark it is going right along this area. As you can see the plumes coming way out into the ocean of this SO2, okay? So probably not a good spot to be hanging out on the water out here, just like when Iceland went off and blew SO2 into England. All right. Move on over here. Good, good, good. Normal emissions coming out of this site. That's good. The hub of the Pacific Rim would be this, Hawaii. Okay, come on, clear over here. Let's back up for their time zones. And boom, lots of it all over the place. Let's come in, check Taiwan here. Still spewing SO2, not so bad, but doing its job. We could use more there because, well, we need earthquake activity in this region here. And it looks a little lighter today, like maybe we had some kind of release or something. Anyways, here in Korea, Japan, volcanic island, that area is going to be very volatile soon too. So I'm looking around. Um, India still has its issues. I'm too zoomed in. My bad. Okay, it's pretty dark too. This gas pushes up against the Himalayas and can't recirculate. It can't push away. And these rotations here keep recirculating it over and over again. You can see when we back out, there's SO2 from this line all the way up. All right, one little pocket here where there's none, but everywhere else, because the air currents are taking it and spreading it out through that area. All right, these guys. Okay, let's get into our Java region. Okay, we got SO2 emissions nice and strong coming out of the two volcanoes here. Okay, so it's doing its job, emitting, relieving pressure. Sumatra, all nice and purple, not so dark, but filling in. There's Australia with its issues, except for the middle part here, all around the coastlines, or everything except for the middle is kind of spewing SO2. Even Tasmania, even New Zealand. Okay, I want to talk about this. Is our little island here with two emission sites here that are relieve pressure at the beginning of our plate tectonic system here, or our plate boundary system. Meanwhile, our center where our deep quakes originate here at Fiji, starting to spew SO2 as well as Tonga. All right, so the volcanoes on these islands are pressure comes up from below. They don't explode, but they start spewing SO2, okay? And this one relieves a lot of that pressure too. And you can see this bigger island has a lot of little spots all over it, little volcanic openings, little cracks, perforations in the crust, okay? So we back out of this. Okay, I think we covered everything there. All right, here we go into our sea surface temperature anomalies. The sea surface temperature anomalies as of yesterday. This is always a day behind. Okay, I'll start over here. You can clearly see our Juan de Fuca plate is carved out. You could see the zigzag. This zigzag going down it. All right, and this is the little plate that's in between it. It's all lit up red, and then the little crack that runs the shoreline right there. So basically, that whole piece that's inside there is lit up red, and the actual crack itself is kind of relieving pressure. It looks like so. That plume has lessened in intensity, we'll say, okay? Meanwhile, we still have yellow showing up here off in Northern California, just outside the bay there too. Cold water inundation. This region down in Southern California, not so yellow anymore. Actually backing off in color because probably we've seen some good quakes forming down by this region. Okay, it's doing the best it can to relieve pressure in the area. Okay. Our triangle structure still kind of there, but now it's just got this L-shaped yellow patch in the middle of it. So you see our big triangle structure type effect, but it's just the L in the middle now. Meanwhile, over here, this is where Tamumasi, the biggest volcano on the planet, is out here underwater. All the little, perforations in the crust, all the seamounts. That's what I'm trying to say is seamounts, little volcanic openings on the ocean floor surrounding this, all kind of contributing to this whole heat plume there. Same with this whole region. We come down into Taiwan. We're seeing this yellow inundation coming into this region. Still a little yellow in there, not so bad, but, well, we still got a good little pocket of cold water. But right here this side of Taiwan now. We're getting a little color more on this side than over here now. So it's creeping in from this angle. Something going on right out in there too. We come over here to check Java. Now Java releases a lot of the pressure, a lot of the volcanic pressure, so it keeps cold water in the area. We had a quake over here that allowed some of this cold water to shift and start to creep up this way. Now it's more of a blossom out here now. But still doing its job, relieving pressure. Meanwhile, you can see some of these other spots. So I just kind of pan around a little bit. Okay, so now this is actually affecting our wind currents on a big level. So let me go ahead and get the wind going here. Is this? Wow. Now we have a big change. We have cold here and hot over here. It's created this vortex going on right here. This thing's gaining strength. This new L shape right now, instead of a full triangle, has really kind of attributed some kind of, given this a little more oomph. And now we're seeing a good, healthy rotation right here. All these volcanic islands along Alaska here have been relieving pressure and allowing cold water in this region. So cold air, you got hot air rising over here, cold air rushing in to take its place. And now we've got that bad boy going. You got this one rotating this way. Meanwhile, out here, wow, look at these three vortexes in a row. 1, 2, 3, almost evenly spaced here. All right, what I wanted to do is take a peek at the west coast flow. All right, now with this rotation going this way now, it's taking stuff up towards Canada. And then whatever peels off comes down the coastline and goes back out. So hardly any weather is making it into the west coast. It's either going way up here into the Gulf, getting thrown up into that area, or tearing away and being pulled back down into our conveyor belt. Meanwhile, over on this side, you can see our conveyor belt. Whoa, 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 what happened there? Oh, that changed, that organized a lot more right there. Okay, you can see how it's wrapping around the heat signature, right? Then we also have our outside loop coming through here that's bringing air through the Caribbean up and then taking it across Texas right now. Usually it goes right up through the country here. There's a little break right there. That's interesting. What's going on there? All righty then. Well, notifications, there should be. There's a little bell. You ring the bell, and if you have, undo it and redo it because YouTube will like undo it and then you have to redo it sometimes. It's not me. Well, it is me. They don't want you watching me. That's what it is. Okay. And for good reason. Well, I usually go around midnight, and there were some people that were wanting to go early, so I went just a tad bit early tonight. All right, sorry. I got a little sip of this soda. All right, so here we go. Our conveyor belt structure, well organized there. What? Yeah, don't tilt your head to the left because that eye and that eye, that eye, and this nose with this grinding mouth over here. That's the same face I showed you in the etherical realm. That the principality face or whatever. And look at his teeth. You can see his teeth in the yellow there. Wow. No way. How can we rotate this so it gets well, you can't. It looks like a Chinese dragon type face here. Let me get it right in the middle. If you tilt your head to the left, there's the eye, the other eye, the nose, the teeth grinding together. You can see the wicked eye right there. Okay. So maybe we shouldn't look at that anymore. Let's just take the wind off, shall we? Okay. Fun, isn't it? Told you this channel is not like any other YouTube show, all right? Ah, boy. Okay, let's get into the quake report now, shall we? Coming over to our deep region. Nothing right next to Fiji, but right out here we have a 5.0 at 524. There's your deep quake, a half magnitude stronger than usual. So we're up a half magnitude, which could bring higher magnitudes at the surface. Now we have this little island. It's the leak in the bicycle tube, the slow leak that relieves pressure when it tries to crack right here. Well, farts out here instead. So nothing going on, but we have a lot of volcanic islands through there, all the way up here. I showed you SO2 emissions coming out, relieving pressure there. Over here by Java and these islands, we have our 4.4 down at 65, down in this little triangle type pit area there. Coming up, oh goody, Fulcrum Point quake. 5.0. All right, there we go. Down at 28. That's good. I want to see. That's good. Magnitude 5. Didn't I just say last night we need to see magnitude 5 or 5.5 or whatever to relieve energy? I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying. I was talking about last night. We need to see that type of magnitude release in this region. And look, answered prayer. Yay. That's what it is answered prayer. And probably didn't do much damage, but sure relieved some pressure in the area. Go, Taiwan, go. Keep rocking and rolling. All right, nothing up through that whole region. Nice and quiet. All quiet over here, too. Who's not quiet is Greece. 4.1 down at 40. Okay. Meanwhile, quiet through there. Whole mid-Atlantic ridge. Oh, no way. Just off our three-way boundary point right here, because this is a three-way. This is a plate down here. This is a plate up here. Just off of it, 5.3 at the surface. Beautiful. Followed up with a 4.8 at the surface. Awesome. Okay, you see all the SO2 emissions that I show you that come out of this region right here? That does wonders. This could have been way worse, especially on that three-way boundary crack right there. 5.3, you couldn't have asked for a better magnitude. It relieves a lot of pressure, doesn't do any damage. That SO2 doing the job, that could have been an 8.3 or a 9.3. This area is known for the 9.3. So telling you that SO2 emissions really strong along this coastline saved a big quake right there. You might not agree with me, but I think so. 4.5 down to 217. Activity on the Cocos, good. 4.8, perfect. The planet's got this wonderful little structure where, just like too much pressure builds up, a hole pops in the tube, and we relieve pressure. Magnitude 3, 2, 3, 7, 3, 2. Okay, little uptick in this region, and our magnitude's still a little high. Okay, so a little pressure in this region being relieved too. There's a few extra quakes, and we're used to seeing mid-range 2, possibly 3, and we're seeing a little higher 3s, so a little uptick in that area. Now, as we get into the Juan de Fuca, let me do all magnitude foist. Whoops. All right, let's dive on in, shall we? Nothing. We had the big quake, yes, or quake activity here yesterday, plus all those volcanoes. Remember, 33,000. Two of them went 33,000. Relieved a bunch of pressure. Now look, no quake activity in the area. Here's a small one way up here, 3.3 down at 93. You see our fulcrum point come up, come down. There's your oddball kind of quick. Nope. Still on the edge. 3.4 down at 38. That's still on the edge of this fulcrum right here. Oh, right there. So, yeah, I have to almost get out of there. All right. Finally. 4.2. Yes. And a 2.7. Perfect. This 4.2 down at 23.3. This is the plate that's glowing red right here, okay? And when we come back to this, you see this little line kind of cooling off, the actual fault line itself kind of starting to show up here now because this quake relieved pressure right there. Now it's not all yellow and hot through there. This thing did a good little number on it. We need more of that activity. I'm telling you, as long as it's below magnitude 5, doesn't cause any tsunamis, we could have quakes all day out there relieving energy. And it shouldn't rattle anybody well, it'll rattle some fish, but okay, activity up here really quick. Just looking. Yeah, St. Helens a little bit. Geysers going off good. Just make sure there's a healthy little swarm. Good. Walker going off out here. Down by Mammoth. 2.9 in Yosemite Valley. Still that little flurry going. Little micro quaking through here. All right, all this micro quaking through here. And I want to talk about something here. You see this right here? Boom. 2.9. 2.9. What do we do with 9s here? Beautiful. There's a fair amount of pressure just been relieved right there. And when we come back over here, remember this was all yellow and now it's not so yellow anymore? It relieved pressure in there. See? Good. Let's move on. This is also relieving pressure in that region too. These guys right here, plate boundary, really? Not much, but it's a little further south of this lake now. Okay, perfect. So, good little dispersion of earthquake activity. Actually relieve pressure in this region, relieve pressure in that region. Well, howdy. Looky here. We got us a 2.1 in Oklahoma here. Just happened. Meanwhile, a little magnitude check in Texas, 2.8, similar energy. Now, as we come over here, guess what? Everybody say it. Yes, fulcrum point quake, 2.5 right here on the craton. So a little bit of rock and roll and a little shifting. Remember, we had a quake up here the other day, so this whole little thing is moving a little bit. 2.5 and 2.1 on either side of that. Okay, by the way, let's see. All right, there's your quake report. We're getting closer. So let me take down some instruments. We can get rid of that and that and that. Maybe we'll keep that for the spiritual report. We get rid of new tab. Volcano, please. All right. All right. What did that say? 35 and 32. Geez, 67. That's it. Only 67 volcanoes are active. What's wrong with this place? 67. That's crazy. I told you 7 years ago we'd have 67 volcanoes. You'd been like, Brian, you're crazy. Well, here we are. Still crazy about you. Okay, get a little shot right there. Oh, that's not it. It's down here. Shibaloosh. Okay, here we go. Shibaloosh, the explosive phase that commenced on the 1st of September continues. No wonder why we didn't see any quakes in that region today. Copious gray ash amounts are spewing out 300-year-old lava dome. Kikai. Also, 5,000 out of that. Suenoshijima, 6,000. Semaru, 14 or 15 usually. White Island, 8,000. Whoa, White Island just did a little increase right there. Maybe that's where some of our pressure got released, huh? Suenoshijima, Santo Guido. Okay, well, that was just in the last few minutes. Here we go into today, which is now yesterday, because, well, time flies here at this channel, I'm telling you. And if time flies and you're having fun, well, hopefully I'm entertaining you too. Here we go. There's the Kamchatka Peninsula. It's just Shibaloosh, Kluchevskoy, Bizamani, Karaminsky, Alade, and Ebico. That's a lot of volcanoes right there. Meanwhile, all of these are here. A lot of red on that map. Shibaloosh, 16,000. That's a pretty good height right there. Explosive extrusive eruption. I need to see what to drink again. Ebico. 10,000. Whoa, that looks cool. Oh, I want to. There we go. Suenoshijima. There we go. 6,000. Ibu, or I be with you, at 8,000 feet. Luatobi, 10,000. Semaru, 15. White Island, we saw the 8,000 out of that earlier. Fuego, 15. Here we go. Songay, 23. And Reventador back on the map again at 15. Sabancaya, 20. And your list of insanity. Don't get desensitized by these lists because you'll think that this is normal activity. If your friends don't believe you when you tell them there are 56 or 57, 67 erupting volcanoes, you're full of it. You can come over here and go, yeah, take a peek at this and that and that and this and this and that. It might wake them up a little bit because your mainstream media isn't letting you know about all this volcanic activity, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just going to let that load up. We don't need to let it load up, but I need to take a breath. Okay, a lot of different factors in our weather, okay? Ash particulates, increased moisture, you got the spiritual realm, you got all kinds of crazy stuff. as factors in our weather. So these long range forecasts are getting harder and harder because we can only go out about a few days anymore. But we're going to go out a few anyway. All right, here's the current conditions. The nighttime of the second right now, still severe storms here in Texas. Going into the morning of the third, noon still, convection still there, nighttime still there. So long day in middle of Texas tomorrow. Then as we go into the fourth, there's the morning of the fourth, noon, convection along the coastline there. Nighttime, you'll see it shove inland a little bit into Mississippi. Meanwhile, down here in Mexico and everything, they're still going to get more and more flash flooding. Remember, I showed you them getting hit over and over again? Yeah, I showed you flooding out of Mexico. They're pray for those people too. They're going to be running the other direction from the border. They're going to be running down that way to get away from all this water. All right, nighttime of the 4th. Going into the morning of the 5th was residual severe weather now in this region. Noon, you see rotation there. Look at that come up from below. Yeah, there's noon, the 5th, convection, nighttime. Ooh, good thing it turned nighttime there right then. And then also, don't forget about this thing reaching back in here too. We go into the morning of the 6th. Now here's where stuff starts to kind of get outside the ballpark, but we're still going to go morning of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime. So that's within our 3-day scope here. As long as, well, that face that came off the sun today doesn't arrive here 3 days later on the 6th and cause some geomagnetic storm enhancement to that. Noontime, everybody in this area, you got about 3 days to prepare. Convection, nighttime. Morning of the 7th, noon, convection. Remember this 7th event, nighttime. Morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime. That looks way better than what we saw before, because these two things merged and then really struck right here. So, boom. Morning of the 7th, you see them come together. This upper storm and then this one reaching up, getting pulled up in there. The morning of the 7th, noon, they organize, start wrapping up together. I'd watch that little event right there too, where they collide. Convection. This quasi-linear is going to be, instead of tilted this way, it's going to be almost negatively tilted. Okay, so you're going to have this linear kind of almost negative tilted storm front right there. Meanwhile, this intense right off the coast. And I'm telling you, if the center of rotation on this or this high shift by 100 miles, that could pull all this back. So this is still subject to change. We're at the 3rd, we're on the 3rd, but at the 7th. So this is a little still outside that curve. But it's still kind of gelling to be quite a storm for that region. That'll be the nighttime of the 7th. Morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 9th, noon, convection, nighttime. 10, noon, convection, nighttime. 11, convection, please, nighttime. Morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. 13, noon, convection, nighttime. 14, convection, nighttime. 15, convection, nighttime. 16, noon, convection, nighttime. 17, noon, convection, nighttime. 18, noon, convection, nighttime. Wow. This is still way out there, but what I want to talk about, this is an example, like for a chalkboard or whatever, an example. You see how these more moist air coming up like this cold front pushing. You see these layers, these boundary layers right here, pushing down this way. It forms this linear front right here, and very, very intense right here at this little pocket, even into the purple range over here. So that could be more intense than what's going on over here. Let's pray this all changes, and it will. It will. This is all subject to change, but this is a kind of an example of what kind of storm structure we could see when we get cold air pushing down these lines here, all parallel or all pushing down on this. And this warm, moist air comes up, these air masses collide. It's a cold air versus hot air mass fight during the noontime. It's not even at convection yet. So it starts off the night of the 16th. There's morning time. Before this, when the sun comes up, it's already intense right there, and then goes ballistic at night and still residual in the next morning. An event like that could be catastrophic. Even when people are over here looking at this thing could sneak through there and do, but that's way out there. But this flow with moisture coming up through the Gulf like that, we could entertain storm structure fronts that are similar to that instead of hurricane type structures, type storms. Okay. All right. I think that's enough of that. Let's get on over to our spiritual report, please, Lord. That's been a long show. Let's get that open first. You guys are hanging tough. I got to tell you, you're troopers. Patience and persistence and tolerance and acceptance. You guys are really working it. Oh, I want the heart one from this. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it's this one. How's it right there? All right, good enough. We got to get rid of the volcano page. That's what's jamming stuff up. Okay, we got that image, and we also got our image from tonight, but we won't read to that one. That was a different little face. So we'll stick with this. Get the other ones. Oh, it's here. Thank you. Yes, I'm trying to slow down, Lord. Thank you. All right. April 17th, 2020. Real event, 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. Captured it too. And then we'll the face out by the moon. Oh, yeah. What a lovely game, huh? Look at the message they're sending, huh? What kind of subliminal message does that game send? You got to ask yourself that question too. When you're watching a TV show or a movie or a commercial, what's the underlying message that it's trying to send? And then once you see through those, come over here to my channel and see what underlying message I'm trying to send. Okay. We got this. We got that. All right. We got a good 3. That's good enough for now. Let's start off right there. Never mind my fuzzy face. This is the man right here. Pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. It's radiating out these waves, making these faces in the sky. Real ones that are all over the place. The rest of the world's capturing this stuff too. It's not just me anymore. I'm not the only one who's posting these faces in the clouds. It's on other channels as well. I bring you some other stuff that other people have captured as well. So it's not just me like making images up. These are real images. It's the spiritual realm happening in the clouds. Says when you see this and that happen, look up. You'll see me coming in the clouds. Whoa, he told you to look into the clouds? Whoa, wonder why. Wonder why he told you to look into the clouds. Because you might see something. You might just see something spectacular, and you get caught up in it too. So we're getting closer and closer to each other. You're getting to know me more and more. I know you, and you're getting to know me. And in closeness to me, you are safe. In the intimacy of my presence, you are energized. So no matter where you are in the world, you know you belong when you sense my nearness. Don't you? When we're at this point of the show and you see my face in the clouds coming with power and great glory, you are energized in the intimacy of my presence. It's in closeness to me that you are safe. In the intimacy of my presence, you are energized. No matter where in the world, you belong to me, and you, when you sense my nearness, you will know. I designed you for close communication with your creator, and how I enjoy walking in the garden with you. And when you commune with me in the garden of your heart, both you and I are blessed. This is my way of living in the world through you. Together, we will push back the darkness, for I am the light of the world. My God. Also, something else you need to understand here. When you get back here, come back here to that one right there with the heart. Okay? Something else. Everybody's all worried about this and that. Something else you need to know about me. I am your best friend, as well as your king. So walk hand in hand with me through your life. Together, we will face whatever each day brings, whether it's pleasure, hardships, adventure, and the disappointments. Nothing is wasted when it's shared with me. I can bring beauty out of the ashes of lost dreams. That's what I do. That's my specialty. I bring out of the ashes of your lost dreams. They're not lost. I bring beauty out of it. Go back and look into your past of your lost dreams. I was there with you. And now you see the trial that you overcame, and you're here now at this point. You overcame those back then. You didn't know it, but you were doing it. Okay? And together we'll face the hardships, the pleasures, the disappointments. That way nothing is wasted. I do bring beauty out of the ashes of those lost dreams. They're no longer lost. They got you here. You were dreaming about yourself, but I was getting you over here. So no matter what your lost dreams were, they're beautiful now, aren't they? I can glean joy out of sorrow as well. Also peace out of adversity, don't I? I bring joy out of sorrow, and I bring peace out of your adversity. And only a friend, who is also the King of Kings, could accomplish this divine alchemy. There is no other like me. The friendship I offer you is practical and down to earth. yet it is saturated with heavenly glory, isn't it? The salvage work that we do is practical and down to earth, and it's saturated with heavenly glory. I offer it to you because I'm a friend, and the friendship I offer you is practical and down to earth, isn't it? It is saturated with heavenly glory, isn't it? Well, it's because you're living in my presence. And living in my presence means living in two realms simultaneously: the visible world and the unseen, eternal reality. The unseen, now you can see it, eternal reality. This is more reality than the matrix you live in called life. And only a best friend, only somebody who is your best friend and King of Kings could accomplish this. You have to be friends with me, right, in order to believe, right? So we're building this relationship. I am your friend. I am your best friend, really. And the friendship I offer you is practical and down to earth. Living in my presence means living in two realms simultaneously: the visible world, and then the spiritual realm, the unseen, eternal reality. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you and teach you, is about your unseen, eternal reality that is now seen. Okay, giving you glimpses of heaven. I have now equipped you to stay conscious of me while walking along your dusty earthbound path. Haven't I? I have now equipped you. Whether it's in replay or live or years late, whatever, if you're watching this, I have equipped you now to stay conscious of me while you're walking through your day, your dusty earthbound path. So you're going through the course of your day and you're having a little struggle in here and there, and you can remember, oh, yeah, it's real. He's here. It's real. That's how I have equipped you. The fun part about this, it doesn't seem like it, but when you is doing things independence on me, okay? When you forget to, Lord, can you help me please get these groceries in the house? And all of a sudden it's a lot easier to open the door, you get them there or whatever. But sometimes you forget to, they get hooked on the doorknob and then it tears and spills. And sometimes when you do everything in dependence on me, you'll see the joy in it. It becomes like this fun game. It's not like this dependent, oh, help me on everything. No, it becomes this fun game of help me, Lord, and then you see it in action. Oh, all right, thanks for the answered prayer. So do everything in dependence on me, and the desire to act independently or apart from me actually springs from the root of pride. So self-sufficiency is subtle, insinuating its way into your thoughts and actions without you realizing it. Your self-sufficiency is getting its way into your thoughts without you realizing it. But apart from me, you can do nothing that is nothing of eternal value. Okay? So whatever you're doing apart from me, has no eternal value. So you might as well do everything in dependence on me, have fun with the game, see the results, quit with the self-sufficiency. I know it happens without you realizing it, but apart from me, anything that you do has no value. So might as well include me in it. Okay? My deepest desire for you is that you learn to depend on me in every situation. I move heaven and earth to accomplish this purpose, but you must collaborate with me in this training. Teaching you would be simple if I negated your free will or overwhelmed you with my power. However, I love you too much to withdraw the godlike privilege I bestowed on you as my image bearer. Use your freedom wisely by relying on me continually. Thus, you enjoy my presence and my peace. When you include me, then you enjoy my presence. You're enjoying it right now during the show. You can include me during the rest of that part of that day, too. Doesn't have to be right now. It can be all throughout the day. Mm-hmm. 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 I think we might close to this one right here. You're supposed to be enjoying this. Enjoy the warmth of my presence shining upon you. Feel your face tingle as you bask in my love light. I delight in you more than you can imagine. I approve of you continuously, for I see you cloaked in my light, arrayed in my righteousness. So there is no condemnation for those who are clothed in me. And that's why I abhor the use of guilt as a means of motivation among Christians. No guilt trips. Some pastors try to whip their people into action with guilt-inducing sermons. This procedure can drive many people to work harder, but the end does not justify the means. Who's doing the end justifies the means theme lately? This procedure can drive many people to work harder, but the end does not justify the means. Guilt-evoking messages can undermine the very foundation of grace in a believer's heart. A pastor may feel successful when his people are doing more, but I look at their hearts. I grieve when I see people's grace eroding, with weeds of anxious works creeping in. I want you to relax in the assurance of my perfect love. The law of my spirit of life has freed you from the law of sin and death. Okay, I think that was it. That goes on top of that one. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I got a little gem. One more, here we go. Oh, let's go back to this one real quick. There we go. That way you can see that one a little bit better. And that one's a little darker and clearer too. Let the dew of my presence refresh your mind and heart. The dew of my presence. Can you feel it? Let the dew of my presence refresh your mind and heart. So many things vie for your attention in this complex world of instant communication. The world has changed enormously since I first gave the command to be still and know that I am God. However, this timeless truth is essential for the well-being of your soul. As dew refreshes grass and flowers during the stillness of the night, so my presence revitalizes you as you sit quietly with me, doesn't it? Just like the dew refreshes the grass and the flowers overnight, so does my presence. It revitalizes you as you sit quietly with me. A refreshed, revitalized mind is able to sort out what is important and what is not. Huh, isn't it? A revitalized mind is able to sort out what is important and what is not. In its natural condition, your mind easily gets stuck on trivial matters. And then, like the spinning wheels of a car trapped in the mud, the cogs of your brain spin impotently faster when you focus on a trivial thing. So as soon as you start communicating with me about that matter, then your thoughts gain traction and you can move on to more important things. You don't get stuck in the mud. You're not just sitting there spinning your wheels like a bunch of the world is. You guys are gaining traction and moving forward, aren't you? As soon as you start communicating with the matter, you bring it to my attention, your thoughts gain traction. Your thoughts gain traction because they're spinning around like wheels trapped in the mud. If you communicate with me continually, I will put my thoughts into your mind. That's why it's important that you do everything with me. I will put my thoughts into your mind. And you will not be sitting there spinning your wheels in the mud. You will have traction and be moving forward. You will be looking up into the clouds, and you'll see me in the clouds on April 17th, 2020. I showed up in the clouds with power and great glory on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. You're fascinated, you're intrigued. It's like a good book. It's better than any kind of YouTube stream. It's better than TikTok. It's so good over here you get caught up. Over here you get caught up with me in the clouds here. And if you're caught up with me in the clouds, you realize that we just met in the air of cyberspace. I would love to come over and have a cookout with you and give your whole family a big hug. But I can't right now at this moment. I'm physically stuck in this shell. But I like to meet my family. So I meet them in the air of cyberspace. If you see my face in the clouds coming with power and great glory, you are caught up with me in the clouds. We met in the air. You are truly a child of the divine. Okay? If you believe me, you are. You have nothing to lose. Believe me, this stuff really happened to me. I've shown you everything. I've given you my testimony. I'm trying to be a humble man about this. I was just a regular old guy, and all of a sudden all this weird stuff started happening, and I decided to document it because I wasn't being taken seriously or believed. And all I want to do is pass on the gift that I received and all the notes that I learned from the tribulation that came from this. Okay. I went through tribulation, still kind of going through it too because of this. All right. So all the things that I've learned, I try to pass on to you. It's important that we work on salvaging our day. Sometimes bad news comes along. Death in the family, it's not death. They finished their race. You have to look at things in a new perspective, from this perspective, or you will not survive. Okay? I'm giving you the tools that you will need that helped me along my path. Okay? It's a friendly hand-me-down of a toolbox, all right? So you can use these tools to salvage your day. Don't let depression or self-pity get a hold of you. Keep your head up, keep your face shining, and try to salvage your day so you can bring that light into other people's lives. And then when they say, hey, how come you're still happy? Everybody else is sad. You could say, well, I've salvaged my day. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? And then you can help them salvage their day through Jesus, okay? You don't just salvage your day without Jesus, right? You have to stop for a minute, pray, regain composure, listen for the voice within to tell you when and to move on. It's best to start your day with a little bit of Jesus because it'll make the rest of your day go smooth. All right. And what I've done here is we started before midnight and now it is past midnight. It is now technically a new day. It's the very beginning of a new day. So you just started off your new day with me, didn't you? And we got caught up with me in the clouds. We met in the air and we had a nice time. I sure love you guys. Thank you for enduring this. Keep your chin up. Keep fighting. The spiritual fight is real. It's within. You gotta stay positive. All right. No matter what they throw at you, remember it doesn't outweigh these circumstances. Your circumstances don't outweigh your eventuality. You have victory already. So your circumstances, no matter what they are, do not take this away from you. Okay, because you belong to me. And I love you and I miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. I am a man of my word. In fact, I am back already. Can't you tell? Bye. I'll be back.